I'm in the middle of a shed renovation, putting new siding on the sheds and converting it to board and batten. Also changing some of the windows, so these windows are larger than the original ones. Actually, sorry, they're smaller than the original shed windows, but they're just whatever size looked right to me, and I need to make custom windows for this. So I'll show you how I made these. This is just a shed, so nothing special. Here's the opening, so I'll take a couple of measurements, and I have two to do, as you can see. And then here is what the final product will look like. I did these a couple weeks ago. Just some simple jambs for the window sashes to go into later on. So my measurements were 24 by 39 1/4, the rough openings. And if we subtract a 1/2 inch from that all around, we end up with, well, hard to read there, 23 1/2 by 38 3/4. Since the stock I'm using is 3/4 inch thick, I will have 4 pieces, 2 for the stiles and 2 for the rails. The rails will be 22 inches and the stiles will be 38 3/4. For the bottom rail, I'm using 2x stock. I bought a 2x12 that was pretty decent. If you look at the end grain here, you can see it's kind of rift sawn, mostly rift sawn, at least on the edges. So that's good. So the plan is to rip out the middle and then have 2 nice pieces for the bottom rails of the windows jambs. I did save a piece from the previous one, so you can see I have a bit of a bevel there, so the rainwater drips off. That's why I'm using the 1.5 inch stock. So let's get to ripping this up. Okay, we have the stiles and rails all cut. We have matching pairs of stiles because they're slightly different lengths, but they match each other. And we have top rails and bottom rails. So we're ready to make 2 windows. We'll start with this set. Okay. So the first piece will go, oops, that goes here with the bevel down. This will go here. This will go here. That goes here. Okay. Quick sanity check here. This should be 23.5. Good. And 30 3/4. Oh, interesting. Those are a little long. 38 3/4. Ooh. This is why you double check. I made them 39 1/4. 38 3/4. 39 1/4, that's the rough opening there. That was the problem. 38 3/4. Okay, so I made these the actual rough opening size. I need to make them the size 1/2 inch smaller. Okay, good thing you checked. Be right back. Okay, after a trim, 23 1/2. Oh, nice save. 23 1/2. Check. 38 3/4. Good. Okay. This is the front. The outside, I want that to look good. The inside, I don't care too much. This is the inside of a shed, so we'll pick the smoother side for this. And we are ready. Put a couple of 2-inch brads. Here. I'm going to give that a little adjust. Glue here. Okay, that's good. I'm checking for square just because right now it's not important. 45 5/16. 45 5/16. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to put in some 3-inch screws. Okay, I'm going to put in the stops for the windows. I have some stock here for those stops. This is just 3/4 by 3/4 pine. So nothing special about that. I'm going to set it back 3/4 of an inch. So in the future, if I decide I want to have a frame for a screen, I'll have a little bit of room for that. Okay, so these are too short, so we'll use them for that. So I'm going to cut some of these, and then we'll get started. Oh. Now I always make things too tight, but we'll see if I can do it on this one. All right. Good. So then we'll just set this back here with a little offset. I can use these cutoffs as my gauge blocks and just nail that in with some glue. Okay, let's switch the brads over to 1 1/4 inch. A little bit of glue. Approximately there. Let's do this. So that's flush there. Untack. Good. We are good. Hey, did you move? Oh, the gun didn't shoot us. Damn, Brad, there. This one I don't worry about the offsets too much. Just make sure the corners are nice, and I'm flushing this side, the side facing the eventual sash. The stock is not exactly the same thickness. So that's nice and flush. It just moved. That's flush. This side is a little bumpy. It's okay. A little bit off is fine. Okay. Final one. So this one is again very different in thickness, so I'll flip it this way. So those are much better. I have that knot here which I want on the inside, so we don't have to see that, so that's the glue side. Okay. Okay, couple of little brads. Come on. Glue, clean up. So for the trim on this one, we just have some 2.5 inch wide trim boards, and I'll be putting that all around, except for the one at the top, because there's a header for my barn door hardware that's in the way. So I'll leave the top piece of trim off. We'll custom fit that once we get out to the shed. But I can do the two sides and the bottom trim while I'm in the shop. That's what we'll do now. So the bottom trim will be that full width, 23 and, well, let's just switch the millimeters. 596.5. Okay, we're going to have a 1/4 inch reveal. So that's sitting down like that. This is the 1/4 inch stock. We'll use that as our trim piece. Offset. And we'll just shoot that in with some 2-inch brads and glue. Oh, no. Ah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Oh, yes. Screw up. 22. Okay, 22 and a half it is. 22 and a half. Alright, so that should be that's good there. That's good there. Okay. Ready. A couple of drops of glue. Actually, inch and a quarter that would be fine. You want that roughly there. There. Right, battery died as I was finishing that up, but you can see now I have the piece of trim here and a 1/4 inch overhang, or it comes past the edge a little bit, 1/4 inch, and then a 1/4 inch reveal from the sill, or whatever the piece of wood is called. But we're all set. We're gonna put the trim now on the sides, on the stiles, and that will be the trimming for this particular unit. Okay, I have this side trim for the stiles cut. And we'll just shoot those on. It'll be flush here on the bottom, and then 1/4 inch reveal all the way up. Pretty simple. Pick a nice one. I like that. So that means that's the blue edge. There's only about a 1/2 inch of wood on the frame now, so gotta go close to the edge. I did forget to put pocket screws on the back sides of these, but that's okay. That's good. Ew. Okay, other side. Oops. Alright, let's clean up, and that one is done. So here is the finished frame or jamb. I'll give you some close-ups. This is how it's going to be installed. So this is the sill, and I'll have the sash sitting in here. There's the stops that we put in before. I have a 1/4 inch reveal with the trim. And that's really it for the construction here. Now, we are going to make the top piece of trim, but we won't cut it. Oh, sorry, we won't cut it to final size. We'll cut it to final length, but we won't cut it and install it because we have to trim it once we get it out to the shed. So here's a piece of the stock. I want to have about a 3/4 inch overhang on each end. So whatever that length is, add 1.5 inches and then just center it up once I get it out to the shed and nail it in place. That's it. Okay, I have my piece of top trim cut. Give me a little overhang on each end. And I'm just going to mark the centers of the trim piece and the jamb, and this way I can center it and have it look good when I get it out to the shed. So I'll do that now. Oops. For centering things, I almost always go metric. It's just easier. That is 724. So 724 is 350 and 12. 350 and 12 is 362. That should be here. Okay, that's good. That's the center. Put a little C. And then we'll do the same here. Oops, that is 597. We'll call it 600. So that's 300 minus inch and 1.5. 300 minus inch 1.5 millimeters. So 300 minus 1.5 is there. Double check that way. 300 minus, oops, 1.5 inches, millimeter and a half. Yep, they check out. See, okay. So now when I get out to the shed, I just have to line up those two marks, and we are good to go. That's it for this one. Take it out to the shed. Alright, here's the second window. I ran out of the unprimed trim, so I had a couple of pieces of pre-primed stuff. That's what you're seeing. You can see this header. That's for the sliding door hardware. But that's in the way, so I had to cut the other piece. Just rip it down a little bit, put a notch. Now that fits in there pretty good. So we'll have something like that. So I think we're good to go. I just need to take the window out. It's just clamped in place now. Put some flashing and then we can nail it in. Tight. Okay. I think I'm going 1/4 inch over that way. Okay, no problem. Okay, right there. Looks good. Good. Right, job done. Got the two window frames, jambs I guess they're called. They're installed. You can see I have the backstop here. I have a little 7-degree bevel on the sill. The trim was mostly pre-installed except for that top piece because I had to run a little notch and I had to saw a little bit off there to make room for that header. But everything's lined up pretty good. So we'll get this painted and then well, it'll be like the other shed. I'll paint it. I'll have the battens I'll put on, and then it'll look basically like this, ready for the sashes, which is after I get the sliding door built and installed. That's the shed project, coming along a little bit every day.